what I've been saying to the others is like, you walk in here, there's 80 people here. Everybody comes from a different place. For me, I was a technology guy. Like I ran sales teams for Verizon Wireless, selling devices that solve problems for construction companies, and then somehow ended up in this crazy industry. But I think it's unique and cool that like everybody's backgrounds are all different, but like somehow when you land in this industry, like for me, my dad was a steel worker. My mom stayed at home. I was around blue collar people all the time. And so like when I got out of that like certain tie office environment and into this industry, like it just felt like home to me. It felt like, I haven't really felt like it's been work most days that I've been in this industry, and I always joke around on my show and say like, I can't actually believe I get paid to do this shit most of the time, and because I get to meet cool people and like, help people build businesses and build our own business. And but it's interesting to see like the unique nature of everybody's journey. Like a higher education person ends up in construction, and a technology guy ends up in construction. This guy, makes me suffer through the Grand Canyon, and we become like great friends, And but what is it about construction that makes it unique for you? Like that makes you feel connected to it? And like, what are you most proud of the work that you get to do now? You go first.
Okay, well, knowing the Cowboys for a long time, it's been fun to be in the midst of them. I've heard their stories a lot, been with them as they walk through life struggles. But, just hearing stories of what's going on in their business and what they're doing, learning what the equipment is called. Okay, that's where I'm at. But also, just in the accounting realm of it's different. It's different than what the accounting I was doing, and learning how that works and all the requirements with all the trucking. Oh, yeah, I'm learning all that. OSHA, requirements with OSHA and different things. That's just been, for me, it's a good challenge to learn. I was in higher ed for 30 years, so it's a very different it's the same, but it's different. So it's been good. And then do it with friends, right? I've known Karen for a long time and known Keith and Lillian for a long time, so I feel like I knew half the crew when I came on because half were family or good friends. So that made it an easy transition in that respect.
Yeah, so if you want anything to be complicated, give it to the government.
Yes,
and they'll
exactly.
figure out exactly how to do that.
Yeah, working with financial aid, it's all government run. They say one thing and they don't know how exactly to tell you how to do it. So.
Yeah, it is amazing though that we don't have those trucking things because we give that work to you guys, and but it is crazy how much documentation there is, and how much it takes. Like people don't realize that, right? Like what it takes to run one of these companies, like the level of detail, the level of compliance, the level of insurance and risk. Like when you think about like what is really at risk every day when we're out there moving all these machines around, tens of thousands of pounds of material, the equipment is millions of dollars, and nobody thinks about that, right? Like we all fly and drive and go all these places on the roads and sidewalks and everything that a contractor puts in. We don't think about what it takes to get there, right? And I think that's really what bonds us all, is like that feeling of like accomplishment and building, and like even whether you're in an office or part of that, you really feel part of it. And I think that's, for me, that's the emotional connection. It's like when we can solve problems for clients that like get them home to their dinner tables and to their kids with less concerns, and that's what fills our cup. It's like we could take all these complicated problems that people have and like bam, make them all go away. So how about you? What makes you feel connected to the industry or passionate about it? What do you love about your job? You've been doing it for 5 years and you always seem happy every time I see you.
Well, I love to learn. Believe it, don't tell Junior that, but I love to learn. And every day it's something new. And what I really like about the industry is I'm more customer facing. And that driveway that you have saved for years and is going to be life-changing. And I call you and they're like, how long is it? We'll be in and out in half a day. And they're like, what? There's no way. I go, yeah. I'll try to tell my guys to say goodbye as they leave, but and they can't believe it. And just learning the logistics to make that happen in half a day. You know, that's been huge for me. I had no idea that so much went into, you know, you just show up and someone has a driveway, right? No, well, we have to find the locates. We have to find the, you know, and just there's so much to it. And I love that about the construction industry.
Yeah, I think the other part for me is like the cool, you know, I was just saying this to somebody else, is like that child that gets to ride their bike on the new driveway. You know, before that, they were getting scraped up, wiped out because it was all, you know, crumbled up, or maybe it was gravel before, you know, whatever it is. And there's an emotional attachment to that, you know, especially when it comes to residential stuff. But we experienced it too. Like we paved a gas station parking lot in North Carolina, and like this company that we do business with, like their managers don't turn over. And so like, that's like their store, you know? And so they're like gleaming when we're, you know, we're there replacing this whole thing, and they're like, you know, this is going to last for 15 years or 20 years, or, you know, and so they get so excited about it. And that's the meaningful nature of the work that we do. And so you just happen to stumble across a bunch of contractors in the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, I just like to be a fly on the wall, man.
And, you know, but I think you've probably learned a lot by just, you know, kind of being a fly on the wall here.
Absolutely.
About like what drives this industry. So as an outsider, I'm really interested in this answer. You know, what do you see in contractors that's unique to the other people that you interact with on a regular basis?
Yeah, and I think what I can, because I can't speak to the industry as a whole, but I think one thing that I can see here and why I love coming here is just the culture that you built and that you guys have built, and the team. Like, everyone here is awesome, and I don't know how you get a like statistically that's possible that you have that. I mean, you just like, it's just a great culture, and that's one of the things that, you know, watching what you've done with the pavement group and, you know, Top Contractor School, and trying to harness a little bit of that and bring it to kind of my industry is really what I think my biggest takeaway from visiting here. And my office is 3 minutes from here, 2-3 minutes. I mean, you could almost throw a rock there. And so that's probably my biggest takeaway, is just the culture that, and how everybody, it just seems everybody's very selfless and has a serving heart. And so that's what I, you know, kind of what I've noticed, and why I just am drawn to keep coming over.
Well, we love having you, because when you show up, everything seems to go right, apparently. It sounds like.
Yeah, maybe I'm missing the day.
Right?
Yeah.
I always use this analogy a lot. I say, you know, we want to be like a duck. Smooth on the top of the water, but paddling like crazy. Right? Like, all looks beautiful on the top of the water. There's a lot of paddling happening underneath.
I'm not in the war room, so that's a good, that's a good point.
That's it. Well, that's a wrap.